Close. Detroit Pistons forward Tobias Harris speaks to reporters after the 107-105 loss to the Bulls on Saturday, January 13, 2018, in Chicago. Video by Vince Ellis. DFP. Harris was 3 for 14, 0 for 6 from 3 in scoring 7. Pistons 22-19 have lost 9 of the last 12 on road Chicago. One thing is very clear about the Detroit Pistons at the midway point. When Tobias Harris struggles, it's tough to get victories in the team's present state. Down starting point guard Reggie Jackson, ankle sprain, and with Avery Bradley still rounding into form following a groin issue, the Pistons need Harris scoring. They did not receive enough of it in Saturday night's 107-105 loss to the Chicago Bulls. Harris was 3 for 14 from the field, 0 for 6 from the three-point line, and scoring 7 points as the Pistons 22-19 have lost 10 of the last 13 on the road. Harris scored on a driving layup with 2:48 remaining to give the Pistons a 103-102 lead. But he missed a 19-footer on the next possession that would have given the Pistons a 3-point lead with less than 2 minutes remaining. More on Pistons mid-season grades. Surprising role players helping teams survive. Pistons nab ex-Oakland star Kay Felder on two-way contract. It set the stage. Bulls forward Lauri Markkanen's heroics, a 19-footer with 1:08 remaining, that was the deciding shot. But Harris, who scored an efficient 22 points in Wednesday night's victory at Brooklyn, was an offensive no-show. It makes it really tough, Van Gundy said. Not just not scoring, but shooting the ball that badly. That one is a tough game. Bulls forward Justin Holiday received the defensive assignment. Van Gundy even tried to establish Harris in the post against the smaller Holiday, 6'6". Harris said Jackson's absence the team is 3 to 5 since the injury doesn't affect his mindset. I don't have any extra pressure on, Harris said. I just try to go out there, get in a rhythm and play offensively like I've been doing. Obviously tonight I was not able to do that, but there's no added pressure to score more. The opportunities are there for me. When I'm open, I gotta be able to get the rock and produce from it. I'm not a guy who needs X amount of play calls. I just play in the flow, up and down and running. After Wednesday night's game at Toronto, the Pistons will play 11 of 12 games at home. The opportunity is there for a surge, but it won't happen without major scoring from Harris. He'll play better next game for us, Bradley said. We definitely need Tobias to play well in order for us to have a good offensive team. Close. A look at the Pistons' first halves that featured a winning record in the past 11 seasons. Video by Ryan Ford. DFP. Wakititsa fouled. Pistons looked finished when Bradley missed a three-pointer with 28.6 seconds left. Van Gundy decided not to foul, but the team forced a turnover by Holiday around the free throw line on the Bulls' end. Harris picked up the loose ball at the 5-second mark and quickly dribbled toward half-court, throwing the ball ahead to Reggie Bullock. Bullock drove to the hoop against Bulls point guard Chris Dunn, but he missed the layup as the clock wound down. Bullock had a direct assessment of the final sequence after the tape. I looked at the play multiple times. It's a foul, Bullock said. He came down on my arm. They didn't look it over. We missed a lot of layups. I've got to finish those layups, but if you ask my opinion, it's a foul. Close. Detroit Pistons coach Stan Van Gundy talks to reporters after the 107-105 loss to the Bulls in Chicago on Saturday, January 13, 2018. Video on Vince Ellis. DFP. Falling 3 Pistons yielded a 17 three-pointers to the Bulls, with big men Lauri Markkanen, Nikola Mirotic and Bobby Portis accounting for 10 of them. Van Gundy said it was because of weak closeouts on shooters. We should have been able to handle Markkanen and Mirotic, Van Gundy said. Portis is another deal. That one is tough. There were a couple they got that weren't our fault, but there's 4 or 5 of them where we just didn't close hard enough. Johnson out. Stanley Johnson missed his 6th of 7 games with a right hip flexor injury. He returned to the lineup in Wednesday night's victory at Brooklyn, playing 20 minutes, but the injury tightened up before Friday's practice. Follow Vince Ellis on Twitter at Vincent_Ellis56. Download our Pistons Extra app on iTunes or Android.